Hey, what's up, friends and fam? It's Tina with the High Ground, and welcome back to our channel. Today, Henry and I are sharing our right after watching Raw movie review of Lisa Frankenstein. This is a coming of age love story about a teenager and her crush who just happens to be a corpse. After a set of horrific circumstances bring him back to life, the two embark on a journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts. Thank you to everyone who voted on Instagram for us to watch this movie. If you haven't already, follow us on IG and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd love to make more friends on here. Now, please enjoy our movie review of Lisa Frankenstein.
All right, well, we just got out of watching Lisa Frankenstein.
Yes.
Made our way back to our car.
Yeah,
it's
warmer. Strangely, it's warmer in here than it was in the movie.
It was, I guess we'll just start off, darling, with what did you think? How did you feel about the movie?
Well, it definitely met my expectations and did more. Like, we were just talking about how we had kind of low expectations, right?
Yeah.
If it passed, great. You know, if it made me laugh, cool. But this movie actually made me laugh and chuckle and like smile.
Yeah, you were having a good time.
Yeah, and I was rooting for Lisa, and I felt like I felt like she was so quirky, you know, and just coming out of her shell that I couldn't help but root for her, you know.
Mm-hmm.
She felt like, because of her eyes and maybe because of her makeup and how she acted, right, like it was very like dainty but not, you know. I just felt like she was so cute. I just want to put her, you know. But she had obviously her devilish side, right, her like violent side that I'm like, okay, I'm cool, I'm here for it. So the main character blew me away.
Yeah, I think she was the main driving force of this whole movie. Like, she did fantastic. Like you're saying, there's that portion where she's very like adorable and cute, and like you kind of just want to like put her in a warm blanket because she's gone through a lot. It's really what they showed in the beginning of the movie, and that all of that is still like lingering, and she's really like introverted and all this stuff. And as the movie progresses, so does her character, and she becomes more extroverted, becomes a little bit more of a rebellious type, I suppose.
Yeah, so that right there is basically the highlight of the film. But there's definitely a few other things that I liked.
Yeah.
I liked the set. I liked the staging of it all. I liked the camera. And I liked even how I thought funny Cole Sprouse came off, you know, without having any dialogue or sound. And I thought the music was cool too. So I feel like those are some of the things that surprised me, I guess. You know, I knew it was going to be weird, but it wasn't like overbearing kind of weird. Even the humor was nice.
Yeah, I think
a lot of pluses.
The trailer delivered what I thought the movie was going to be. Like, it gave off that type of vibe. Like, oh, this is kind of like something that maybe Tim Burton back in the day would have really liked reading or watching. Yeah, you know? So definitely. I think like you're saying, the music was great. The color was fantastic. There's a lot of things that pop for a lot of things like that were going on in the background.
Yeah, so if we want to talk about the set real quick, like you're saying, there's so much color, and I like that they start you off with this really bright, like very contrasted green, like you open in this forest, this graveyard, and it looks beautiful because that's how Lisa thinks of it, you know. While later on we hear that people are actually scared of that spot. So I really like that off the bat it's kind of told you, like, you're in this fantasy story right now. Just get into it and go along for the ride.
I also enjoyed like the little marionettes that were going on, or shadow puppets thing that happened during the cast and crew intro. I thought, because it's telling the story of, you know, in a sense, Cole Sprouse's character, because they don't
Frankenstein.
Yeah, Frankenstein. He's not really like a big player in the movie in the terms of like, you know, having a developed story besides came back from the dead.
Yes.
So I think
the story you need to know was told then.
Yeah, and I thought that was a clever way of doing it in a time where it doesn't have to take up any actual like
movie time in a way.
So I thought, I was like, okay, cool. You guys got me. Let's go.
Like you already said, too, it gave off a Tim Burton vibe.
Yeah, I will say I agree with you that I do like the camera movement in the first act, but I do wish it kind of continued.
Yeah,
there was this really cool sequence where unfortunately she had a spiked drink, but she's wandering around and not knowing what she is, and then all like you could see the transitions of her walking around, and it's like walking into different areas that you've kind of quickly visited.
It's like Alice in Wonderland when she enters the realm.
Yeah, exactly.
Lisa is like experiencing this weird like world at this point, and it gets funkier and funkier.
Yeah,
I love it.
And and then once she gets to the point where she doesn't even remember if that really happened. So
yeah.
I thought it was a really cool camera effect and movement, and the way like all of that was tracked, like it was great.
Mm-hmm.
But then that was it. That was it. But we were talking about it a little bit before we jumped on here, and we definitely think it's because there's a lot that goes on in the second and third acts that are just completely, in a sense, out of left field. Like if you come to this movie blind, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I think that's probably why they knew they were going to take you for a ride, just thematically and story.
Let's tone it down a little bit so you can follow along with the story and not kind of be distracted with like the mechanics of it all.
Most definitely.
I will say though, it's so colorful that sometimes it does get distracting.
Yeah.
But I think it really adds to like the picturesque kind of shots. There's a lot of mid shots where they're just showing you torso and up, and like there's a lot of pictures, like really kind of good moments where the facial expressions are coming off. Like I am remembering when the mom sits down at the table with her
Walkman on.
Her Walkman on, and she can't hear anything, but we can see her facial expressions like get all confused and stuff. And I really like how that picture was set up with so much blue in the background, but then she gets all creeped out, and it's nice. It's a nice crisp kind of photo.
I would say that a few things that maybe it didn't hit for me, it was like some of the side characters. There was only really one that I kind of cared about, which was the sister. I thought she was like, but at the same time, I'm like, is she being fake? Is she being real? Like,
I know,
towards the end, like you find out that she's just genuinely nice. Yeah.
I agree. The side characters, but they didn't add much.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They didn't add much. I didn't feel much of an impact when the spoiler alert here. So like towards the middle of the film, Frankenstein's monster, Lisa Frankenstein's monster, kills her stepmother because she was being a bitch to her. Like, gets rid of the body, and then they start realizing that they could take parts and build back this Frankenstein's monster by sewing them together and using a tanning bed to electrocute it back to life.
Funny.
It's really it's clever. But yeah, I think at that point, that was the only action that I was like, oh, okay, but like it didn't really deem like killing her.
But this is kind of like dramatized. Like it's really, I think, dramatizing certain emotions there to make it a little more outlandish, like
it's probably how she felt inside, right? She was internalizing all these emotions, and it's all of a sudden just being brought out to the forefront.
Totally, yeah.
So those side characters kind of, I mean, they were cool. I like the sister. But the
main character again is the star.
That was the star, and
Lisa Frankenstein, Catherine Newton as Lisa Frankenstein was the star for sure. Yeah, she did great. She was coming off cute but funny, and she had her like weird, awkward moments. Like she was quirky, and you could expressively see her coming out of her shell.
This isn't the first retelling of Frankenstein that I've ever seen.
Yeah, good point.
So
there's a lot of Frankenstein.
There's a lot of retelling, and I could say this one's pretty good. I mean, like I feel like this is a solid entry into that area.
It knows its audience.
Yeah,
it knows its audience.
1000%.
I immediately thought of Sophie. Shout out to my cousin. Shout out to all my cousins because they would love this movie.
Yeah,
it was made for them.
Yeah, and you were having a grand old time. Yep. So I definitely think that they knew the demographic. Like you even said it before in our preview of the movie. This is a Galentine movie. Yeah, for sure. And for sure it is.
It's a smaller movie that knows it's small, so it takes some leaps. It definitely takes some risks, and it pays off in my opinion. If you come and watch Lisa Frankenstein, you're definitely gonna like it. My rating is an 8 out of 10.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was around there too. It's 7.5.
Okay.
I had a fun time, so
totally fine.
Yeah, thank you for choosing this movie. Well, thank you to our fans our friends and family on Instagram.
I couldn't decide between Bob Marley, Madam Web, and Lisa Frankenstein, and you guys voted for Lisa Frankenstein, so we're here, and I love it. Thank you so much.
The democracy has spoken, because I actually voted for the Bob Marley, which is probably the only vote that came into that movie.
I think so.
It was me.
That's so funny. Yeah, so if you haven't followed us on Instagram, go and follow us. The link is in the description below. And if you like these type of videos, give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We really appreciate it because we like making friends on here and talking movies with y'all.
Yeah. Thank you so much for bringing me out, Boo.
Yeah, thank you all for listening.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.